Oh, and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a glorious Friday. You can see the sun coming in from my window here at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. We've taken the show and the brand on the road. Hopefully, the tech will last today because we're in a great attitude, maybe a little bit under the weather, but it never stops us. You have to show up. That's half of the job, isn't it? This is Coaching Company. We're live on the Stadium Network, available in over 100 million homes. Today is a busy day, but before we look forward, we must look back. We had kind of a kiss your sister kind of day yesterday, 4-4-1, as Inter Miami and Porto scored exactly 3. When you have a game like we did last night, we'll talk to the guys about it in a second. This is what's going to happen is when you had, 180 some points, one team gets blown out by 30. That's when all of your props are going to get absolutely destroyed. We do want to thank the audience. You guys have made Coach and Bro, our other pro wrestling show, such a hit. Also on Stadium every single Wednesday night. If you didn't catch it Wednesday or Thursday morning, you can always catch one or both episodes on demand on our BTT YouTube page. And finally, our Demerbox giveaway of our BTT Demerbox. It ends tomorrow. Producer man always has it up on the screen. There it is right there. I can always count on my man. We want you to enter. Somebody's going to win that. It's just a hardcore Bluetooth speaker. Zach Brown from the Zach Brown brand is behind it. So thank you to them for their partnership. But somebody's going to win that, and we're going to ship it out in the next couple of weeks. All right. All the housekeeping is done. On days like this, when I get up and I know I'm fired up, we have PFL tonight on ESPN. We've got a full 60 minutes of baseball, basketball. Liz Carmouche, the OG. We've got to sit down with her in about 15 minutes. But do you hear that? The company, they're getting impatient. They're ready to come in. So let's let them. It's time to beat the books. I have today an embarrassment of riches. First and foremost, coming up in about 30 minutes after we have more prize picks courtesy of our man Salupy. Good morning, sir. What did you make of Game 6 last night?
Man, I really thought that the Thunder were going to figure out a way to close it out, but in the second and the third quarter, the Pacers just went on a run. Another great game by the Pacer bench, and we're going to a Game 7, the two best words in sports.
The two best words in sports, indeed. Now, there's two other words in sports that we absolutely love to say, and that's Footy Friday. In a couple of minutes, you're going to get a 5-pack of your favorite soccer plays. The man is an absolute cash register. He's on our team, and he's live from the dirty Big Chuck. Good morning.
Morning, Coachman company. Yeah, full card, loaded weekend. I still get amused when I hear dog days of summer. That couldn't be furthest from the truth. We're absolutely loaded. Can't wait to get it going.
You're damn right. And finally, this man is in the same city, the same hotel as I am right now, and he's getting fired up to cover the PFL tonight on ESPN for SureDog.com. Mikey P, good morning, sir.
Well, Coach, I know you're in the penthouse suite, but you must have heard me getting ready because I am fired up today. It's Friday. I'm back here again on Coaching Company. PFL Friday, Coaching Company Friday. Let's go.
By the way, boys, I got to say this publicly. Your boy Mikey P brought his lady with him to the fight. And can I just say, outkicked his coverage so far. I literally said, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mikey P? What are we doing? But very nice, Mikey. Very nice. Congrats.
You know the worst part about this is, and thank you, by the way, the worst part is everyone she's met has liked her more than me, including you, Coach. Everyone's just forgotten who I am now. It's all about her. I don't even know if I'm going to the fights.
Does that shock you?
Yeah.
It does not shock me at all. All right, let's get into it. We got best bets. We got a bounce back. A 4-4-1 day. That's not good enough for us, boys. Not at all. So, Soupy, Let's start with you. Best bets. Let's go.
I'm starting on the diamond. I'm going with the Blue Jays on the run line, going against the White Sox. Davis Martin is going for the White Sox. He's in the 19th percentile in whiff rate. He's going against the Blue Jays lineup that is the lowest whiff rate in the league. Going with that bullpen of the White Sox, that's 22nd in ERA. I think those runs are going to continue to pile on for Toronto. So take him on the run line. And then I hate doing it because I love the Sun. I love going to Mohegan Sun to watch them, but they're so bad this year. Paige Beckers is coming back. She went for 21 points in the last game, and they lost by 22. The Sun lost by 22. They're giving 4.5. Even though both these teams only have 2 wins on the year, the Wings just look so much better than the Sun. I'm taking them at -4.5.
Do you think that's part of the reason that the Sun ownership is trying to get them either sold or moved out of a place that is really hard for people to? I mean, it's an hour from everywhere.
Yeah, I think they had this in mind. I think that's why they started to sell they traded a lot of their best pieces in the offseason with the knowledge of that they were going to try to sell the team.
I just have Z-Man's voice in my head. They suck. That's all I hear when I think of Connecticut Sun. All right, great start from my man Soupy. 2 picks, prize picks coming up later in the show. All right, Big Mikey, coming over to you. What do you got today?
I'm going all diamond today, and I'm going to be a little petty and a little fired up on these picks as well. I am taking the Chicago Cubs money line versus the Seattle Mariners, and I've only got one stat for you because then I've got info for you. The Cubs are 24-13 at home this season, and here's the most important thing of the day happening at Wrigley. Friday afternoon baseball for the first time in 21 years, Coach. Sammy Sosa will be at the friendly confines. So Sammy Sosa Juju will carry the Cubs against the Mariners today. And then Petty Pendleton is here. Rafael Devers under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs -110 against who? The Boston Red Sox. You want some info? I got it for you. He's batting lifetime 0-0-0 against the Boston Red Sox. So give me under for Rafael Devers tonight against his former team.
What do you think that's going to be like tonight? You couldn't, if you were looking at the scheduling odds and you said, what would be the greatest thing? You can't make this up. How is this possible that he's playing against the Red Sox already?
I think the best part about it is Hunter Dobbins is on the mound, and this is the same Hunter Dobbins who's talked all that trash about Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge took him deep. So it's like we have the perfect mouthpiece on the mound. I don't know. A lot of people have kind of just pushed the Devers talk away out of the Red Sox clubhouse, but I would love for Hunter Dobbins to be like, well, he's on the other team. I got to go strike him out. That would get me fired up.
I love the fact the other day I saw somebody on social media, they split like their post, and it was a quote from Devers when they signed Bregman. I'm third base. Don't ask me to play anywhere else. And then his opening press conference with the Giants. I'll play wherever they want me to play. I don't care. I'm like, wow. It's crazy how things have changed, how the attitudes have changed. Can't wait for that. By the way, that game starts tonight, 10:15 p.m. Eastern time on the left coast. Now, you guys know there's death, there's taxes, and there is cashing with my man, Big Chuck. And on Fridays, you get a little something extra. Not one, not two, a 5-pack. Because it's always Footy Friday. All right, we got 5 today. And I believe we have 3 on Friday, which is awesome. Let's start with those 3 today, Big Chuck.
Full card on Friday, Footy Friday. We're going to start with the FIFA Club World Cup. Benfica take on Auckland City, who are basically just a semi-pro team. This is a classic blowout spot. I expect goals early and often in this one. We're going to go with the first half over 2.75 goals or the 2.5. You can look at whatever's available on your book. I expect 3 or more in this one, and Benfica have scored 8 first half goals in their last 6 outings. Then Chelsea take on Flamengo, and if anyone's been watching, the Brazilians have been putting in work, and I expect another strong outing from them. And, you know, if I like a dog, I like them to score in the first half. Go and give me Flamengo. First half, team total over half a goal. They've put up 7 first-half goals in their last 6 outings. Then we're going to go to the Gold Cup. We have Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, and our old friends Guadalupe, and they are still getting disrespected to even score, even though they have 5 goals in their last 5 outings. I'm going to run it back again. Guadalupe, team total over half a goal.
The disrespect for Guadalupe is just raging still. We'll go ahead and take that. All he needs a goal. All he needs a goal. All he needs a goal. So then we're going to have 3 check marks on Saturday, Big Chuck. And then we get to Sunday with 2 more plays. What are they?
Going back to the Gold Cup, Mexico and Costa Rica, El Tri, they come in having scored in 7 straight. And Costa Rica in 6 of 7. Go ahead and give me both teams to score. Then we're going to wrap it up with Suriname and the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic's away matches have averaged 5 total goals. I think we see an old-fashioned shootout with the over 2.75 in this one.
And remember, if they score 3, you win half your bet. 4, you win your full bet. And if you want even more great picks, be a part of Big Chuck's side hustle. Download the QR code, and I'm telling you, 2, 3, maybe 4 games if he's having an off day, you're going to be paying for the entire year. And then you just say, thank you, coach, and be on your way. Now, another great partnership, Just the Stats Sports. And look who's back today. Our man, Marky Mark, who whenever he's having a great day and the model's going great, you can rest assured this little thing right here is going to give me a little ring-a-ding-ding-ding, which it did the other night. Pretty proud of yourself, aren't you, Mark?
Coach was feeling it. I felt really good.
Thank you. So, what is our JTS today, Mark?
We're going to start on the diamond. We're going to take Baltimore Oriole Gunnar Henderson to get at least 1 hit. Look, the guy is a machine right now. He's hit safely in 12 straight games. He is absolutely locked in, and with Baltimore surging, we expect him to stay aggressive at the plate. We're also going to pair that with Alicia Gray of the Atlanta Dream to score at least 15 points tonight. She's quietly putting together an elite season when she plays at home, where she's gone over this line in 7 of her last 9 games. Love this spot, especially with it being an up-tempo game. Put them both together for a plus 122. Just the Stat Sports Player of the Day.
And we want you to be a part of what we already know. JTS is amazing. Scan the QR code. Use our code BTT30, and we're going to give you 30 days for free. For free. Then after that, just like with Big Chuck, thank you, and have a nice day. But Mark, real quick, you're getting some mixed messages in the chat today. Nonsense McGee, who is a premium member, he says, Slick Mark, looking slick on a Slick Friday. A lot of slickness there. But then your boy, your partner from Weekday Wages, DG, says, model my ass. What are we doing, Mark? What are we doing?
That's actually paying homage to Mark Zeno, who is getting a t-shirt that says justastatsports.com, model my ass, because I believe he is the latest victim to go down to the model.
Well, I know the other day because as I was traveling and I get, how should we say, feedback from certain people that I have to deal with as the person who runs this, that apparently you and him had a little tete-a-tete, a little back and forth with some hand gestures involved. Is that true, Mark?
His hand gestures in response to the scoreboard, Coach. And I honestly, if he doesn't like the scoreboard, he needs to fix it. That's a him issue, not a me issue.
Wow. Very interesting, boys. Very, very interesting. All right. Best bets are done, but we are far from being done. In fact, we're just getting started. Coming up on the other side, it's a big day in the PFL. You know what time it is. 12 fights tonight, including the OG, Liz Carmouche. We sat down with her to talk about her big semifinal fight tonight. Can't wait. 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Also, baseball. Who's the best team right now? And Game 7 coming up on Sunday night. We break it all down. You know what time it is. It's Coach and Company Live, as always, right here on Stadium.
They want more people than John Cena and The Rock to be somebody that people know when you walk down the street. And that's always been something we fought.
Yeah, truth, man. Truth. That's what I see too. What we were rapping about earlier as well, bringing it back, is like with Netflix now, but I feel like it's definitely been a concerted effort. You're seeing wrestling look more mainstream even. with the press conferences, with, the SAPs at the bottom of the screen. Even when that was added, I remember being like, oh, I like this, or like certain stat lines coming up, and you're like, oh, and making the big fights feel like big fight feels, and we've always had that, I'll forever remember, Hogan and Warrior looking at each other opposite the ring. Now it is different. I'm watching it through my son's eyes, and he's consuming a lot of other things. So it's definitely, you can see them keeping up, putting it in everybody's eyeballs, saying, hey, remember us? Why don't you come watch wrestling again? Come check it out again. You're seeing this at Dillard's and Nordstrom. You're seeing the rest of the table now. It used to be only Hot Topic, or now you're seeing them everywhere. It's cool, man. It's cool.
So part of the reason of what you're talking about, for people who don't know, watching this at home, the executive producer of the show was in charge of College Game Day at ESPN for over 25 years. And he worked a lot with Nick Khan, who's the president of WWE. So they brought him over. So they wanted the show, Josh, to look like a sports show. So having the stats and having the win percentage and all of that makes it look like a sports show, which then makes it what? It makes it mainstream. What is the thing you enjoy the most about watching now with your son, would you say?
Him believing with his whole body that everything is the truth, and like I said, that's the way I still like to watch. When I'm there in person, I'm booing the bad guys and I'm cheering the good guys. Where in life are you allowed to give a nice boo?
And you can catch the entire interview at our VTP YouTube page. We're back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company live on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium is. Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, LG, Vizio, the list goes on and on. Now, you guys know me. I love every single organization that I get to work with, especially the PFL. Every single event, we're taking one step ahead. And tonight, it's a gigantic night. It's week 2 of our semifinal action. 3 different divisions: the bantamweights, the lightweights, and the women's flyweights. Now, one of those women, she's an absolute OG. She's done it all in the world of MMA. And tonight, perhaps her biggest fight to date. We recently sat down with the great Liz Carmen.
What's good, everybody? Welcome into Coach's Corner, presented as always by Arkham. And we are just a few weeks away. Friday night, June 20th, Wichita, Kansas, the Midwest. And it's going to be all about the ladies. And one of those joins us right now. An incredible first round knockout in round number 1. Let's welcome in the great Liz Carmouche to the show. And Liz, first and foremost, physically, you had to get right back into camp. How are you doing right now?
Good. The advantage taking no damage in the fight is that I was able to get back to training right away. Off the advisor, everybody's like, hey, you're in great shape. Go ahead and just let your body decompress and everything relax. In my head, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I'm used to right after the fight at 6 a.m. and I'm in the gym doing cardio and lifting and doing things like that. And I thought it was going to put me on a little bit of a setback. But honestly, I felt even healthier for the first time doing that and letting my body recover for a second and then getting back into training full swing.
Do you think that since you were thinking about some fun things that maybe that loosened you up just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for one, it's a little bit of accountability. And I learned that a few fights ago when I put out there, I'm like, no, I think I could finish Kana. I think I could finish her within the first 2:30 of the first round. And then it put on that sense of urgency and I got a 35-second finish. And so in the same sense, by me putting that out there, I then have to back what I'm saying. And that person where I'm like, I'm not going to trash talk, but I'm going to put that sense of urgency on myself to have to show up and perform that much better than I normally do.
21 out of 32 fights were a finish. You were one of those 21. Why do you think that the excitement level and the finish rate was so high throughout those 4 weeks?
I think just everybody's having a good refresh. For some of us, last year was our first time as a part of PFL. And so we had a chance to really assess how everything works, get to know the staff, get to understand just how that ball is running and that the whole tempo of things. So I help prepare people for what they needed to do. And then, of course, everybody had in their mind, if you don't walk out of here with a win and with a finish, you're not going to be able to go out there. And there is no second chance. It's not about points. It's you finish or you're out.
So now as we head into this fight, and if you win, now you got a spot in the finals with a big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. How do you approach this one mentally?
The same way I approached the last. I still have expectations of myself on what I'm looking to achieve in my career and at this point. And it's a matter of making sure that I'm seeing how those could fit into the style of the opponent I'm facing, and then how to implement those and imagining those and putting that into motion every practice, every time, to make sure the repetitions mentally and physically are put in so that when it's cage, it's already been done a million times.
How do you think your experience will help you against somebody that doesn't have nearly as much experience as you do?
It comes down to that fight IQ, is being able to recognize openings, opportunities, to be able to see a pattern that's been in place, or just like in my last fight, seeing that glaring opening of that liver and being able to chase it and pursue it. Is with that fight IQ of having all those reps, you have more of an awareness of the opportunities that provide themselves.
How have you enjoyed kind of the fresh approach, I guess, that the PFL has given you? Not only last year in the season, but this year, you could literally see all the new people that show up with the videos, with the podcasting, with the social media, all of it. Have you seen that difference? Have you felt it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely noticed a difference. PFL isn't just about like trying to provide the best for the fighters in the sense of let's get them better pay, let's get them more fights, but also they're looking to help support us with social media, with videos, and to provide opportunities. And it's really just for us to show up. They'll help you let them know. And it's great to have that support from an organization that's trying to elevate their fighters in every way, shape, and form.
I want you to speak
Mhm.
to your opponent specifically and what challenges you think that she brings to you.
Yeah, for one, she's super aggressive, and that's great in an opponent. I like somebody where it's not the feel out process. She doesn't want to feel out an opponent. She wants to come out and she's looking for a finish. It's not somebody that's trying to coast to decision. She's aggressive with their stand up. She's unorthodox with their stand up, which throws people off. But when it comes to the ground, she's chasing for some crazy cool finishes. And so, whereas most people are like, oh, well, at least if you get him to the ground, it's done. That's not the case. It's going to be a good back and forth on the ground.
How do you see this fight finishing?
I see another TKO KO finish with my hand in the air.
Well, we can't wait. It's going to be Friday night, June 20th, Wichita, Kansas. That lady right there is going to be a part of the semifinals in the women's division. Liz Carmouche, best of luck.
Absolutely. See you soon.
And that, of course, is tonight right here, about a mile away at the Downtown Arena in Wichita, Kansas. Liz will be a part of the main card live on ESPN. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The early card starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, let's bring the guys back in. I want to ask Mikey P real quick, because you're here writing for Sherdog tonight. When you hear the confidence that Liz Carmouche has, she's one fight away, and she's easily the most veteran of the women's fighters, but maybe the most confident too.
Definitely the most confident. And I think one thing that I love about covering the sport of MMA is when a fighter's doing it for more than themselves. I think Liz has great self-awareness, great confidence. She knows her opponent's a young, undefeated fighter, and she's faced that same type of opponent several times over and over. But the one thing I love this week, Liz said, was that not only does she want another title, a PFL tournament championship and a world title, but she wants to open doors for the women who come after her, open up a 135 with the PFL, because the PFL is a promotion she feels comfortable doing business with after her career. So I got to love a mindset of a true veteran like Liz Carmouche.
And she has 3 bucket list finishes that she still wants to do, right? She wants to knock somebody out cold, which she predicts for tonight. She wants to put somebody to sleep, where they literally sleep, not like tap, but sleep. And then she has one other one that I can't remember right now, but she's very specific with what she wants to do. I can't wait for tonight. 12 big fights on the card. All right, quickly, guys, let's turn our attention now to baseball very quickly, because I was looking at the divisions and the leaders today, Soupy. And right now it's the Mets, the Cubs, and the Dodgers in the National League. And when you look at the odds to win the National League, Dodgers are plus 140, Mets plus 425, and the Cubs are plus 650. So right now, in your mind, as we get towards the end of June, who do you think is the best team in the National League?
Who do I think the best team is overall? I think it's the Cubs. They're second in runs, 10th in ERA. They have that balance. Dodgers, the best lineup in the National League, but we've seen the pitching have trouble. I think they're bottom. They're about average in ERA. That helped. That didn't do bad for them in the playoffs last year, even when they didn't have Glasnow, they didn't have Kershaw. But can they sustain that throughout the year? I think they need to get more pitching. So that's why I'll take the Cubs.
The easy answer would have been the Dodgers, Big Chuck, but Soupy says the Cubs because in the West there's two teams, the Padres and the Giants, that are really, really good. The other divisions don't really have that powerful number two. Who would you say is the favorite right now, Chuck?
I'm also going to ride with the Cubs, even though I'm giving the Phillies right behind them. I think the Phillies are battle tested also. I think they could come out. Mets still have a lot of unknowns, and the Dodgers, it's their pitching staff is what's really disabling them right now. I kind of like the Cubs or the Phillies. I'm really looking at the Phillies as a sneaky NL side. I think they're prone to make a run this season.
Wasn't it crazy a couple of months ago? There was rumors that they were going to trade Bryce Harper, and you're like, really? Bryce Harper? Mikey P, quickly, do you agree Cubs for you or somebody else?
I think Chuck was looking at my pre-show notes because I was also going to mention the Philadelphia Phillies doing it without Aaron Nola. Bryce Harper's been banged up, so I take the Phillies out of the East. But as Soupy said, the Dodgers have the best lineup. The Cubs probably have the best team, but I'd like to see them get better pitching for their starting rotation as well.
I can't wait to see what Sammy Sosa looks like tonight, by the way, back in Chicago. I don't care what anybody says. The home run race with him and Mark McGwire, still the best thing. I don't care about steroids. Best thing that's ever happened in home runs in baseball. All right, let's flip over to the American League now, Soupy. And you have the Yankees, the Tigers, and the Astros are the current first place teams. Yankees plus 225, Tigers 290, Astros 550. Who's the best to you?
I'm a Yankee fan, diehard, but I'm going with the Tigers. They are the best team post All-Star game last year. They have the best record. They made that run being from an under 500 team all the way to get to the wild card, and now they have the best record in the American League. It's that top of the lineup rotation. It's Tarek Skubal, who could be the Cy Young again this year, but then you have Casey Miz, you have Reese Olson, and they're also fifth in run score, a balanced team. That is what is going to help you win a championship, is when you're that balanced.
Big Chuck, Detroit is 20 games over 500. Are they the best to you also?
They have to be 48 wins, even though they're only 10-7 in June. They still have that horse that they can roll out there every 5 days. Skubal, they have the ace, especially get to the playoffs, and then Casey Miz, my man, Soupy remixed it Mize, and they had the number 2 coming out. But I just wonder if they'll hold up, or if they'll bring anyone, if they're going to make any moves, or if they're just going to rely on their young players. We already know the Yankees are probably going to make moves. Look at the Jays and the Rays; they're also playing well, but yeah, definitely the Tigers as of now.
Well, right now, they have a 9.5 game lead, Mikey, in the Central. They may not have to do anything if they have a double-digit lead heading into the end of July. What say you?
Yeah, we're at the point where those standings really start to matter. We're getting closer to the All-Star break. And listen, the Tigers were a surprise team last year, and that's after trading Jack Flaherty. Now he's back to go with that starting rotation that Soupy was talking about. Listen, I'm never going to say the Yankees. I'm sorry, Soupy, but I'm not sorry, Soupy. Not in the same division as the Red Sox, who are only 5 back in the AL East. I predict the second half surge. But then I look at the AL West as well with the Astros. The Seattle Mariners have not been healthy all season in their pitching rotation. Those pitchers come back. I think Seattle contends. I think there's going to be some contention in the AL East.
Mikey. I got to get to a break, big dog. Look at your clock. I'm cutting you off. By the way, my man Marky Model in the chat has all of the models percentages for these two divisions. Thank you, Mark. This is Coach and Company. We're live, as always, right here on Stadium. All right, so
Tyrese Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You mentioned the narratives are going to be poison for you guys the next couple of days. Keep your focus here. I noticed just on your social media, you haven't. I think your last post was June 6th, right? Maybe game one. Have you stayed off that altogether? Have you been able to avoid much input coming into you from the outside world?
Yeah, I've tried my best. I don't have the apps or anything. I'll be honest, sometimes I got to log on to Twitter to see what's going on with like WWE or certain other stuff, honestly. But no, I trying to stay off as much as I can, and just not pay attention to the outside noise as much as I can, as much as we can as a group. So,
So Soupy had to log in to make sure that he knew that Liv Morgan's going to be out for 9 months, huh?
Of course, I had to make sure too. It is sad to see that Liv Morgan's not going to be back until 2026, and we also have to get that update on Goldberg versus Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event. We got to stay updated on this stuff.
What do you really think about that? Because I'm trying to keep Coach and Bro on the air, so I'm trying not to say what I really think.
Gunther wins, Seth cashes. That's what's happening.
But if that happens, everybody loses. Everybody loses because Gunther is only a champion for 2 weeks. He loses to Goldberg, who's 58 years old, and then Seth beats a 58-year-old. So it'd be lose, lose, lose. But let's go with your idea.
Yeah. Sure.
Mikey, your thoughts on Mr. Halliburton just logging on for WWE News?
Feels like he's more active on his phone, even being less active on the court. Listen, last night, I know he played better, but when TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin combined for the most points over Halliburton and Siakam, Halliburton, I don't care about what you're doing on social media. Get better on the court.
I thought last night he did everything he had to do. I will severely disagree with you. He had a bad leg. He went out there. He controlled the tempo, and that's all he needed to do. And then they set him the entire fourth quarter. That's exactly what they needed last night from him. They win by 30. We have a game 7. We agree to disagree. We are back live, gentlemen, in just 5 seconds. Okay, we have moved past the bottom of the hour, having a great time on a Friday. I sincerely hope all of you have a great, safe weekend. A lot of you going out on the lake this weekend here in Kansas. There are boats driving around everywhere, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we always love, because a lot of you love to play Prize Picks. And my man, Soupy, he works for Prize Picks and writes incredible articles all the time. So I always task him with 3 plays every single Friday. Soupy, where are we going today?
I'm going with Paige Buckets, playing just 40 minutes from where she went to college down Route 2. I've taken that drive before. It is boring as hell. Paige Bueckers more than 17.5 points against the Sun. She's done this in 3 of the last 5 games, including against the Sun, who are the worst defense in the league and the worst point differential in the league. I think it's going to be a big win for the Wings and Bueckers. Let's go to the Diamond. I'm going with Freed, more than 18.5 pitching outs. He's done this in 9 of 15 games, going against the Orioles, who have a 184 batting average and a 26.9 whiff rate. And JP Crawford, he is having a great June, a 1.034 OPS, going against Matthew Boyd of the Cubs, who he's 5 for 10 against.
Real quick, did you see the video, Soupy, the other day of Bueckers? It was like a post game. Who's the point guard from Las Vegas? She was married to the tight end from the
Raiders. Kelsey Plum. God. She's with Los Angeles now.
Yeah, Plum. Did you see the video of her basically Bueckers talking trash, walking away, and going, "Rookies these days." She's got a lot to say on social media these days, doesn't she?
And this is helping the WNBA a lot with a lot of, Caitlin Clark coming to the league, Angel Reese, Paige Bueckers being a big player as she is. This is helping the league a lot. I think this is what they need to sort of put this league in the forefront.
Kelsey Plum is also getting some more negative attention today because a video came out. They were walking to the bus, and I was never rude, but whenever autograph people camp out at the airport, camp out at the hotel, and they ask you to not sign just one, they had a whole book of her cards. Like, they wanted her to sign like 30 of them. And she was like, "This makes me feel very uncomfortable." I don't blame her. Do you blame her or any athlete when clearly they're going to go sell those on eBay?
Yeah, I used to work for a minor league baseball team, and I would come out of the stadium, and there would be a collection of adults with the book of cards looking for every prospect that came out, and you know what the intention is. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sure if it was a kid, she would not have said anything. She would have said, "Here's your autograph and take a picture and all that." But you know the intention of these people, and that's what probably just told her like this is uncomfortable.
No doubt about it. She did sign one, and that's all she should have signed, one for each person, the way
Mhm.
it's supposed to be. All right, I can't wait to hit those prize picks this week, but we've got a big game 7 coming up on Sunday night. We got to dive in. It's time to hoop it up. I am not too sure how many people thought that we would be having a game 7. I think a lot of people thought with Halliburton questionable and saying things like, guys, if I can walk, I'm going to play. And then last night I was out to dinner. We always go to dinner before our big PFL fights. And I'm looking down at my phone and I see it's 70-45. And I was like, that can't be right. I hit refresh. It was still 70-45. They did what they needed to do. And Chuck, let me start with you. Because if you wrote up a scenario for the Pacers with an injured point guard and wanting to keep everybody as fresh as possible, you look at the minutes played last night, nobody in the entire game played over 32. That was a perfect storyline for the Pacers to get back to Oklahoma City.
Actually thought it was a tricky little spot for the Pacers. And then what about Halliburton? Is he really injured, or is he just playing possum? The Pacers pulled a Houdini act. Now we go back for Game 7. I think that was the perfect scenario. It's a win-win for the NBA, even though they're struggling to get 10 million viewers per game. But I think it's a win-win. Anyone's excited to see a Game 7.
I think you just hit a topic that not too many people are talking about, Charles, and that is the viewership. We knew that 2 small market teams, they might struggle. The series has been great. A lot of fans haven't seen it, though. And, Mikey, when you're talking about viewers right now, and then in the same breath, the NBA is talking about expansion, the Lakers sell for $10 billion. It's kind of somebody talking out of both sides of their mouth right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that was going to draw the viewers is think of the excitement we had in the final seconds of game 1. That brought in a crowd for game 2, maybe a crowd for game 3. But when you start having one-sided games, people are going to turn it off. They're not going to be as interested. So I hate to say we got to have a 5-point game or a Halliburton miracle at the end of the series to make it more watchable. But it's pretty much what the story is right now.
Well, the books clearly don't think it's going to be a 5-point game or a 4-point game or even a 3-point game. Because Soupy, as you look at BetMGM right now, this was at 8.5. Actually, it was at 9.5, came down to 8.5. And now clearly there's a lot of people that are betting on the Pacers 2 days early because now it's down to 7.5. Minus 105 is juiced to the Thunder. The total is all the way down to 215.5. My goodness, how the numbers have changed.
Let that spread keep going down because it just makes it easier for me to take the Thunder. The Thunder have yet to lose back-to-back games in the playoffs, and I don't see them doing it now. They've only lost twice back-to-back incidences in the whole season. That's how great they've been. That's how good they are at making adjustments after the next game. We know the Pacers play well at the Fieldhouse. They've done that the whole season, the whole playoffs. Now they got to try to do it on the road. I don't think so. I think that the Thunder win and they cover this.
And you guys know how I feel about stars. One of my favorite things I love to say is there is no substitute for star power. You make your legacy when the lights are the brightest. So, Charles, the lights will never be brighter to this point in his career for SGA than Sunday night. He's the MVP. He is the guy. His number is 33.5, and it stayed there, or 34, for the entire series. He didn't have a very good game. He didn't play a lot in game number 6. How good does he have to play Sunday night to get the job done and cement that legacy and get that first chip?
I think 34 points will be just fine. Plus, you add in Jalen Williams coming of age. just comes in and gets 23 or more. I think this is definitely an OKC spot. This series has been all about public perception. What did we see last? Pacers blowing out OKC. Now everyone is on the Pacers bandwagon. Yeah, you were right. It was at 9. Now we're seeing some 7.5s. Heavy public dog. I think this is the classic OKC blowout spot. Plenty of points. Total was 214, 215.5, and player props galore.
I don't know that I've ever seen a total, Mikey, come down 10 points or 11 points in the same series. And obviously, the reason being is historically, game sevens are very, very conservative. The defense is turned up even higher. And we saw last night, what was it, 190, something like that. And so clearly the books have adjusted. And it may mean that a lot of players or people will play the over just blindly when even at 215, I think the under is still the play.
Yeah, I do like the under, excuse me, not the Thunder, but I do like the under because I think it's going to be a game 7 tightly contested game. And honestly, nothing between both these teams really impressed me in game 6. Now, I know you're probably saying, how is that possible? Chet Holmgren, 4 points. Jalen Williams, 16 after a 40-point outburst. You know, Siakam and Halliburton did what they had to do, but TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin carried the Pacers yesterday. For me, it's what supporting cast shows up. And supporting cast aren't dropping 30 points each. So I like the under, and I want to see what supporting cast steps up.
Clearly, Rick Carlisle watched Coaching Company yesterday because we said, Rick, don't make the same mistake you made in game number 5. When you're up 18, you cut it to 2. TJ McConnell was the guy. But it's hard to look at TJ McConnell and say, you're going to be my guy that I rely on when I have all these other players. So what did he do yesterday? He left TJ McConnell on the floor, and he cashed his over. And for some reason, boys, the books still have TJ McConnell at 9.5 minus 120. Soupy, to me, when I look at all of these, and Toppin is 10.5. He had 20 last night. I'm looking at those two guys right now.
I think it's going to be different because they were up big at one point in the game, but this is game 7. You are going to have your starting 5 in as much as you can because it is over after this. So you are going to expend all your energy with that starting 5. I would say everybody in the starting 5, maybe except 1 or 2, will have 32 to 35 minutes. Maybe some will have 40. So I'm a little hesitant to take some of the bench players in this situation.
You might be right. The coaches historically, especially if this was New York and Tom Thibodeau, he might only play 6 dudes in game number 7. He's done that before. But I do think that both of these coaches really, really trust their entire bench that they played the entire season and series. So let's get into predictions. We have about 2 minutes left in this segment. Chuck, I'm going to start with you. Take me through what you think is going to happen Sunday night.
I think this is going to, like I before mentioned, a classic blowout spot. I think OKC comes out pedal to the metal starting in the first quarter, first half. Plenty of points in this one. OKC, they win, cover, win the championship, and I'm looking at the total. And look at Lou Dort. Look at that 7.5. That's just, they're going to kick it out to him. He likes to hit those threes. Look at him. He may be a sneaky little player prop also. OKC in the over correlates. Pacers in the under is the correlation.
I feel like we haven't said Lou Dort's name at all this entire series. Mikey P, what do you like?
I like the under, and I think I like the Pacers. I was ready to throw in the towel coming into game 6, but let me get the the Pacers to pull it off in game 7, and I'm going to throw in a little extra sprinkle. Let's get a Tyrese Halliburton Cinderella ending because Cinderella stories need a great ending. So give me either a comeback or give me a Halliburton game winner, and let's give the Pacers the trophy.
All right, 30 seconds, Soupy.
So unfortunately, Cinderella's slippers, they both fell off her feet and they crashed and burned. I'm taking the Thunder. I think they're going to get off to a fast start and they're going to lock down that defense. Indiana, not as good of a defense. I think they're going to pressure themselves too much on defense. And with the options that OKC has, I think it's just going to be too much for them. I think they win, cover, and I'm going to take the under.
Okay, so we've got a lot of different predictions. Again, the game is Sunday night. Game 7, NBA Finals. Let's have a good number as well. NBA fans, show up. Show up. All right, still to come on the other side. What would have happened if Pirates reliever Mr. Santana would have actually connected. What am I talking about? I'll show you. We'll discuss on the other side. Plus, we'll recap all of our best bets. We're coming to the end of a great week here in Wichita. It's Coaching Company right here live on Stadium.
What is a Demerbox? A Demerbox is a rugged portable speaker. It's a vault to hold all your things, keep them dry and safe, and it's a charger. You know, you're looking at 40 hours of playtime. So we charge this thing maybe once a week when we're traveling and adventuring. There's volume controls on the outside of the box here, so you can turn it up and down. If you have your phone inside there charging, it's nice and safe and dry. All right, so we're gonna hook the Demerbox to our phone. I'm gonna show you some tricks. You just hit the button on the front. You've got the battery gauge here. That lets you know how full your battery is. You got a volume here as well. So you just turn it on, go to your Bluetooth, Demerbox DV2, and it says when it's paired. Yep. And so inside the lid, if you're just jamming tunes and you're not around water or anything like that, you can leave this open. But if you're going into a wet or muddy, snowy environment, inside the lid right here is a plug. You undo this plug, it pops out. Put it right in the top right here. Give it a few turns. Turn it on. Now you've got a waterproof speaker box. Now you can play it for the whales. I think there's a use for each individual person. The Demerbox, like this is mine with all my stickers, my things on it. You can kind of make them your own. That's part of the love of them. Like I have a connection with these because it's like a good belt or like a good pair of boots. You can cater your lifestyle to your Demerbox, but there's no other speaker that charges your things and holds all your stuff, keeps it dry and safe. That's what sets this apart. So I'd recommend y'all trying a Demerbox and bring it because it's so much more than a speaker.
One more day in our Demerbox giveaway, our BTT themed Demerbox. I really thought about keeping it myself, but alas, I'm not allowed to do that. I have my own though. This is amazing. If you guys have never tried Demerbox, get your own. If you're going to go buy something, use Coach 10. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Company live here on the Stadium Network, all over this great country of ours. Don't forget, I want all of you to have a great weekend. Tonight, PFL Live on ESPN Plus at 5 Eastern Time. The main card at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as well. 12 big fights live from right here in Wichita, Kansas. Now, gentlemen, we have seen over the years players get upset with fans in the stands. And yesterday, I thought, what if Dennis Santana would have connected? Let's see what he did at Comerica Park. He was out in the bullpen taking on the Tigers. Take a look at this. Wow. Look at it again. He doesn't connect clearly. And Soupy, he said after the game, he goes, everybody knows that I'm a pretty easygoing guy, but that fan crossed the line not once, but several times. Is there ever a point where this is okay?
It doesn't matter if he crosses the line once, several times, several hundred times. As a professional athlete, you never engage with the fans like that. If he had connected, that's an assault charge. He's leaving the stadium in handcuffs. I think in this incident, Rob Manfred needs to put the hammer down and say, I am worried about the safety of the fans that come to the ballpark. Yes, probably what those fans did wrong. I saw another angle with the fans after saying some things. Those fans definitely were in the wrong, but I think it's important for Rob Manfred to emphasize the safety of the fans. I think he needs to be suspended for at least 10 games, maybe even more.
Interesting take. Big Chuck, you heard Soupy, and you see the video. What was your take?
First time seeing it, a little surprised that he actually went for the bait. You know that the fans are trying to bait him into that. You know, if he definitely assault. Plus, you know, he would get a counsel and have a little percentage of his income for quite some time. Anytime I see this, the first thing that comes to mind in fans and players, malice in the palace, where our testing company went into the stands. You don't want that. I'm surprised that it even got that far.
I am really, really, and it will probably come out. He didn't say it last night. What exactly did he mean by he crossed the line? What did he say? Was it talking about his family, kids? Who knows? But for that to happen, for him to get that fired up, Mikey, it had to be something in his mind really, really bad.
Yeah, it had to be, but this is all head scratching to me. And I don't want to make light of the situation, but him having to jump up and take a swat at the fan is a little funny in my eyes. The bullpen cop right there, not really getting in the middle of it until the very end. There's so many head scratching things around this. And I think we're in the heating days of summer because we're seeing a lot more back and forth between teams, now players and fans. I think long baseball summer days are getting to the players now.
Every time I see something like this, I think it could be some idiot YouTuber. We've seen a lot of those lately. They try to stir it up, get people to attack him for their channels. I don't think this was that, but that's the first thing I think of right now because it comes through my algorithm all the time. So we'll see. I'm sure it's going to come out, and I'm sure, Soupy, that he's going to get a lengthy suspension. We'll just see how long it's going to be. All right, we got a bunch of bets. We have 5 soccer games today. So we got to get, for those of you who were not here at the top of the hour, it's all right. We know you got things to do. You got jobs. You got breaks. Let's lock it in. All right, Mikey P, 10 seconds or less. Just 1 or 2 nuggets is all I need. Start us off, sir.
Give me the Chicago Cubs money line versus the Mariners. No stat. Sammy Sosa is back at Wrigley Field for the first time in 21 years. And then give me Rafael Devers. First game against his former team. The Boston Red Sox, give me him under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at a -110.
You can't make up the drama. Devers against the Red Sox. Let's go. Soupy, what do you got?
Blue Jays -1.5. Davis Martin going for the White Sox with a 19% percentile whiff rate. The Blue Jays, best whiff rate in the league. They are going to be in contact with him all day. And then the Wings, -4.5 against the Sun. The Sun are so bad. They lost by 22 to the Wings, who both teams have 2 wins, and you lost to another team with 2 wins by 22. This is a lockdown for the Wings.
The Footy Friday 5-pack. Give me the first 3 right today. People have Friday soccer, Big Chuck.
Friday soccer, and we have the FIFA Club World Cup, Benfica, Auckland City. This is a classic blowout spot. First half, over 2.75 goals. Benfica come in having scored 8 first half goals in their last 6 outings. Then we have Flamengo, Chelsea, and the Brazilians have been putting in work. I expect a strong effort early. The first half team total over half a goal. Flamengo have 7 first half goals in their last 6 matches. And then the Gold Cup, our old friends Guadalupe, team total over half a goal against the Reggae Boys. They just need to score 1 goal, which they have 5 goals in their last 5 matches.
That's the day. Then we got 2 more on Sunday.
Going back to the Gold Cup, Mexico, Costa Rica. Mexico has scored in 7 straight, and Costa Rica in 6 of 7. Classic, good old both teams to score spot. Then lastly, Suriname and the Dominican Republic. I see a shootout here. The Dominicans away matches have averaged 5 total goals, over 2.75. That way, we get 3, you get half your stake, but I'm seeing 4 or more.
Boom. All right, our JTS play of the day after you download the code for the side hustle for my man Big Chuck. Then we go to JTS. Mark, what do we got today?
We're going with Baltimore Oriole Gunnar Henderson to get at least 1 hit tonight. Look, when he plays the Yankees, he's gone over this line in 5 of the 6 games he's faced the Pinstripes. We expect him to have another great day at the plate. We're going to pair that with Atlanta Dream Alicia Gray to score 15 or more points tonight. She is an absolute beast at home, averaging nearly 19 points a game when she's playing at home. Put them both together for a +122. Just the Stat Sports play of the day.
And we want you to be a member. Scan that QR code. Use our code BTT30, and we're going to give you 30 days for free. A couple more things to get to, and then we're going to get the hell out of Dodge. busy day. Raphael's still taking care of us, even though he's not on the show. Here is our inside info. The Arizona Diamondbacks starter, Zach Gallen, is 9-0 to the over as a division favorite. So take that information for what you will. Gentlemen, real quick, I really thought Mark had grown from the dad jokes and the bad jokes when he's giving out a JTS play. And then I look at the chat. And a moment ago, Mark says, the fan told him that Mikey P is back on the Pacers. What the hell is that even supposed to mean?
You wanted to know what the fans said that crossed the line?
No. I understand that. I'm just saying that's the first joke I've ever heard. I know what you were trying to do. It's all right. You probably are getting a little FOMO from all the jokes you didn't get to give this week. Is that true?
No
FOMO?
No, I get plenty of chances on weekday wagers. By the way, at 2:00 today, join us for the split decision. Everybody's favorite segment of our show.
Yeah, everybody's, including Raphael's, who's never on the show. Real quick, give me 3-5 swats tonight on ESPN. Mikey, here at PFL.
Give me Jenna Bishop and Ekaterina Shakalova. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight. Brent Primus and Alfie Davis, a battle of the veterans. And I cannot not mention the main event, Gadzi Rabadonov, one of the best lightweights in the world, taking on probably his most credible opponent in Kevin Lee, former UFC title challenger.
He's a big name. He's an absolutely big name. He says, I'm in the best shape of my life. He looks great. But then Gadzi, who's from Team Nurmagomedov, he just stands there and he's like, you can't beat me. They're nasty, boys. When you're around these guys from Dagestan in real life, you almost have to look over your shoulder because they will take you down every single time. Gentlemen, great week. Well done. Producer, man, give me that one shot. It's now time for all of you to go out into the world. Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. Be honest with each other and enjoy all of it. Sports is here for a reason. Love it. And there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know. Okay. You got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets right there straight to the pay window for my entire company. Damn it, do I love them all. My man, Soupy. Mikey P from SureDog.com. Big Chuck with his 5-pack. Mark from TS and producer, man, always behind the scenes making the show look like $1 million. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you is what we're all about. Have a great weekend right here at Coach and Company live on Stadium. Take care.